Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Bitcoin, see what's going on with the big boy, and help understand what the next steps might look like, and truly just try to recognize, support and resistance levels. It feels like we're just basically in a channel trade for the moment, and until we break the key level resistance or support, we're kind of going to be stuck in this sideways action for a little while, which is perfectly fine, building up more volume at this price point, but we need to obviously see something happen soon, right? To at least get this transition to the upside or the downside. That being said, not a financial advisor, love teaching people how to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. CryptoCache.tech is a website if you want to learn and become a better trader. Link in the description below. I have a Signal group, trading academy, and trading community. We all learn and grow together. Amazing experience. So thank you so much to my current community members. I greatly appreciate you and love working with you day in and day out. So taking a look here at Bitcoin. Here's kind of what's going on with the big picture, general sense of things. It's not dire straits by any stretch of the imagination. So in other words, we're holding very strong here at about 42,800. That's been a very strong support level. The price has wicked down there twice and immediately gets rejected with a decent amount of volume back to the upside. The inverse could also be said as well when we look at smaller time frames that 40,000 even is also, or sorry, 44,000 even is also a point of contention. In other words, we cannot seem to close above 44. That being said, we'll go ahead and look at smaller time frames to identify, but generally speaking, that's where we're at. We do have a potential bounce here off of 50, even though it did dip below like to 47. The price is still trending right at that midline, which is very helpful in the sense allowing that to potentially continue to maintain as a support. I like that. That's very nice, a nice little consolation, you could say, as well as the fact that we're up above the 50-day moving average. The 50-day SMA, right around 41,600, is trending upwards and sideways, which is great. So to me, we have a nice little support level there at about 42,200 as well as a previous resistance now turned support. And of course, this little channel here between 43,000 and 41.5 is a rough estimate, is likely going to be able to hold fairly strong here. Again, we don't know until it's officially tested, but it has technically been tested twice where the price cannot seem to break into that plane yet. And that's a good sign. Okay. So again, some decent stuff here on the 1 day. All in all, it looks good. I do feel like we might still be able to see a slight relief rally to 46 and then a potential rejection to the downside from there, just based on the fact that we need to build more volume at this price point and we don't quite have enough there. But I wouldn't feel like we're in the clear just yet, but again, we're not in bad shape at all either, okay? So again, just something to be realistic there in the sense that it literally could go either way right now. We don't truly know specifically, but the way that the price has been holding at this price point here is really nice. It's also bouncing off of the 200-day moving average on the 4-hour. That to me is really important. I like to see a 4-hour, 200-day SMA working as a nice support and has so far held, well, only the one time it's been tested, but you can see that's still in that same range I'm referring to, the $41,500 to $43,000 support channel range. So that should continue to maintain as a support. If we lose that, it's a different story. We'll have a different conversation. But until we do, we can expect that to kind of continue to maintain itself. The 200 also working its way up could imply that the price action will slowly progress higher. Now we can see here on the 4-hour, roughly right around 44,000. It's been tested almost 3 times. Price comes up to that range, gets rejected, comes down, and tries to come up again, create a higher low essentially, and then this most recent dip, of course, pushed the price action down to test that key level support, and it recovered again with a decent amount of volume. You can see a lot of volume the last 4 hours. So that does show that the price is unwilling to go any lower than 43 at the moment. Okay. Now it's also showing that it's unwilling to go above 44,000 as well, so this could literally be the channel to just short at 44,000 and to take your profits at 43 and some change. Okay. Again, different scenarios. A lot of people are basically doing that right now, and it's not a terrible strategy until it defines itself. And for right now, it's trying to break either key level support or resistance. I feel it's more likely to break to the upside, at least in the immediate future, based on this downtrend and the overall sentiment. But we're going to probably face some rejection when the price comes closer to 46,000, or maybe even 45,500, right here at this 200 or sorry the 50-day SMA on the 4-hour as well. So again, being squeezed in between both moving averages is very good, but also potentially disadvantageous because Again, there's no guarantees in this, but we do have a potential death cross where the price could essentially, try to work itself up and get rejected and come back down with a 50-day working as a resistance. Keep in mind the 50-day SMA on the 4-hour time frame is a very strong indicator. It helps us, it helps keep the price action in place a lot of times, and you'll see that it holds as a very strong resistance until it's officially broken and closes above. Okay. All right, just something to be mindful of. Now, taking a look here at the RSI, that is still slowly creeping back up. So we could also experience a rejection at 50 on the RSI. So that's another reason why. And this actually is a very interesting thing that happens. A lot of times the 50-day SMA will coincide with 50 on the RSI and they'll work in tandem. So we could actually see that work as a double resistance, so to speak, in the relative near future. So if you're going to take a long position, I wouldn't expect to hold the position very long. It's going to be a long position, right? Short in duration, but a long nonetheless. So I do think you'll probably find more value or more benefit, buying low and selling high, but it's not going to be a significant margin. All right, so in that sense, if you're going to use leverage, just be very careful and cautious. But I would say between 44 and 45 might be a consideration for a price range to shoot for. But again, until we break this plane, we get a one-day candlestick close, in my personal opinion, above 44,000. I don't think we have a leg to stand on just yet, and we should expect the price to channel sideways for the moment, at least for the remainder of the week, which isn't very long. Today's the end of the week, at least for trading, right? For traditional, trading hours. It'd be interesting to see what the price is at the one-day candlestick close here today, just based on the fact that it's weekend. A lot of times, profits are taken just before the weekend, and we can see some interesting stuff. So just keep that in mind. Again, some abstract thinking essentially for you. So taking a look at the 1 hour, let's go ahead and see if I don't think we're above the cloud at all. In fact, we're getting rejected by the cloud at this moment. So just keep in mind this does work as a resistance. Okay. Also bear in mind too, both edges of the cloud, both sides of the cloud work as resistance levels while you're underneath. So by no means is it a green light to go ahead and take a position because the price does one of these. If the price comes up and breaks above and then starts to continue to hold, that's a case in point where you want to consider taking entry. So for right now, we don't have a buy signal. And what could effectively happen, this happens a lot with channel trading, is until the cloud essentially averages itself out naturally to kind of meet with the price action. At that point, that might be a consideration to take entry. But until then, you can expect the price to kind of continue to be rejected by that. And that once again, 44,000, or in this case, 44.1, will essentially be a pretty strong little resistance area. Okay. So I don't foresee the price just kind of breaking through there, but if it were to, and we get enough volume and a nice candlestick close, once again on the 1 day, not just the 1 hour, that would give us a lot of more certainty, if you will, that we're heading in the right direction. That's what I like to look for. That's a confirmation I want. So, confirmation for me in a perfect world would be a 1 day candlestick close above 44,000, subsequently a close on the 1 hour, maybe even 2 or 3 hours above the cloud, and then potentially a MACD convergence on the 4 hour, which is a lot to ask for. So generally speaking, we're looking good here. And I think that we might see something happen in the relative near future. I think the next 24 hours, we're going to see a potential, just like kind of a natural break above the cloud. And if that is the case, that would be maybe a good consideration, at least until we hit that 50 SMA on the 4 hour or the 200 SMA on the 1 day, which is much further away, of course. So generally speaking, there's a handful of little scenarios here, but I would say very, very short term, we are looking at, it's more likely to increase based on the amount of support that we're finding here at this channel of 43,000 and lower. But we're also facing some significant rejection at 43. So if the price were to come back down to just say 43,000, then we want to make sure that we are careful and cautious and don't just take entry. But if you're going to be channel trading or range trading, that might be the best and only option we have right now for the moment. Again, just something to think about there. So all in all, once again, not terrible shape. I would say the macro is looking less better than the micro, but they both don't really look all that great to me. It's not like an appealing scenario whatsoever. We kind of feel like we're on this razor's edge where the price could literally drop out if they decide they want to, throw a decent amount of volume at selling pressure. But we could also see a little relief rally as well. So again, both possible scenarios. So again, sorry I can't give you a definitive answer one way or the other. I do think more short term we're looking at an increase, and more long term potential decrease. But once again, we don't know until we get there. We deal with what we can while we still can, while it's right in front of us. So I hope you can find benefit and extract something positive from here. Because again, not in bad shape at all. It just literally could be a lot better. All right, so that's kind of where we're at there. We'll go ahead and continue to cover Bitcoin throughout the weekend. We can expect, in most cases, weekends are fairly green when you have a terribly red week. So I wouldn't be surprised there's going to be more volume accumulation this weekend from, and anything outside of the whales. So I would expect potential increase over the weekend. That would be my speculation here, just based on the recent events and the way things naturally happen. So again, a one-day candlestick close today above 44 would be a great start to the weekend. That's all I can say. I hope that happens, and I'll see you on the flip side here. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for joining me here. And once again, if you're not a current community member, CryptoCache.tech is a site. Link in the description below. I look forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.